So the 1800s is a pretty incredible time. We saw the invention of the automobile, the invention of the light bulb, the start of the Industrial Revolution. In many ways, it's the birth of the modern age of technology. 1886 is often regarded as the birth year of the modern car. This is the year that German inventor Carl Benz patented his Benz-Patent motor wagon. But the modern car really didn't start taking off until 1908. That's the year that the Model T started being manufactured by the Ford Company. It was the first car that was widely available to the average citizen. Now I want you to think of the number 61, because 61 is how many years it took for us to go from this to this. And if you go 61 more years into the future from the moon landing, that will put us into the year 2030, and it's looking like there's a pretty good chance that we'll get people to Mars before then. But why is it taking this long? Already as early as 1961, there were some within NASA that wanted to put going to Mars as the next major goal for NASA after landing on the moon. There was some hesitation with the higher-ups at NASA to put this as a goal so early, but in 1969 as a moon landing was nearing, there was a lot of enthusiasm and push for this. But in that same year, this happened. After coming into office in 1969, Nixon appointed the Space Task Group. However, space travel was placed on low priority, and there was a lot of uncertainty of what would happen after the politically motivated moon landing. Many within NASA wanted to push towards Mars next, and there was a goal to get there by either 1981, 83, or 86. The Space Task Group did support this, and that did bring some hope to NASA. However, they placed the vague timeline of getting to Mars as just any time within the 20th century. Within NASA, there was hope that a Mars plan would materialize from the White House. However, the best they got was lip service, and to make things worse, NASA's budget was slashed. This halted the development of more powerful rockets that were planned in NASA's future. Then in 1970, Thomas Paine, NASA's administrator, ended up leaving the company. Once he was gone, most of NASA's effort was shifted to developing reusable winged spacecraft. The final nail in the coffin was in 1972 when Nixon made the Earth Orbital Space Shuttle NASA's post-Apollo program. At this point, any ambition or the money needed to get to Mars was gone. What is crazy is that the Manned Spacecraft Center in Houston actually had detailed plans on how they wanted to get to Mars. This included an 11-year development and testing period that would eventually lead to a 570-day Mars expedition. Finally, it would conclude with 71 low-orbit launches to assemble the spacecraft that would eventually go to Mars. If this plan was actually followed, it would have put getting to Mars around 1987 or 1988. I'm actually quite confident that this would have been possible, especially seeing what NASA was able to accomplish in just the 60s. It's quite unfortunate that once the political motivation was satisfied by going to the moon, there wasn't really much motivation to go beyond that. We can only speculate what things would have been like if we had gone to Mars in the 80s, but hopefully we can make up for it in the coming decades. So if you're ever frustrated about the slow development of space travel, you got one guy to blame, this guy.